Well, so let's do the discussions on AM Talk, and many of you, of course, would want to know what our guests will have by way of their own take on President cutting the sword for those initial 50 batch of senior high schools to start as far as construction is concerned. Well, we have our guests for the morning. Aquinas Kwanzaa is a member of Parliament for Infantimani, but also the Deputy Minister of Fisheries, and thanks for joining us this morning. You'll also be joined by Seti Champong, and Seti Champong is the Member of Parliament for Impraiso in the Ashanti region. In the meantime, though, let's just look at what really the stories are. We start with the community senior high school project takes off, and the president again cut a sword for those projects, and we know that it follows the State of the Nation address in which he made that very announcement, and even the day for that very sword cutting ceremony. You can also see him here. So, well, in there you find the Minister of Education. And so I have to ask you, now the project has taken off in earnest. This is not the first time the president is cutting sword. Sometimes the projects tend to delay, because we still have, for example, the Gang of Six. One of them, the Kumasi, the Accra Kumasi Road. Some sections have still not been completed.
So are we going to talk about the...
No, we're not talking about... I'm only citing that as an example. We cut sword. Sometimes the projects are not completed. It's not as if I'm just being preemptive. I'm only asking.
Yeah, I believe we should all pray that whatever sort is cut, the project will see to its logical conclusion. I mean, I believe it's doable. I believe there are available funds for the project to go on, and we should recommend the government and the people of Ghana for pushing for this kind of thing, because I don't think it's one person's idea, you know, to get more schools and make sure school become accessible to the citizenry, and also progressively make those schools at least free for our children. Yeah.
Why do you think this very whole initiative and policy statement by the president has generated all this hue and cry or hula baloo?
You know, you see, because let's say yesterday I was with a colleague of mine in another studio, and he was saying JM should be charged for plagiarism. The next generation, not the next election. JM is not thinking about the next election. He is rolling out what is good for Ghanaians.
By which way?
But I'm talking about rolling out the school. He's not looking at 2016 as a benchmark. He's doing what he can. So that at the end of the day, if Ghanaians feel he's done enough to retain him, they retain him. If they say they need a change and they change him, then somebody else comes. And we continue from there. Because at the end of the day, if you say, okay, it's too short a time, I can't build all the 200 in 2016, so I should hold on. At the end of the day, nothing will be done. You understand me? So it's good that we're rolling out the 50. We're not rushing it. It's still in that manner of like progressively attacking it. We're not saying that we are going to build all the 200 schools in 1 year and the
So in your opinion, the criticism that has been leveled on the president, that particularly following this very announcement by him and his government, he wants to have a head start in the 2016 general election.
No, Master, you see, this is a constitutional provision.
And so?
And yeah,
it could have been implemented in 1990.
No, you see, Master, you see, look, you have to look at the constitution well. They said after 10 years of coming into being of the constitution, we do the F cube.
We do understand. That's what the constitution says.
There, yeah, that's what the constitution says. Then after
and we
that,
passed the 10th year in 2003.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That was when it was announced. We remember President Kufuor announced a free basic the F cube. You understand? Because it's constitutional, and it says that after attaining that, you have to look at it. That is the basic level from KG to JHS 3. Then you go on. Then that is the first part of that Article 25. That's the first part. The second part comes with the senior or secondary school. Those times we don't have senior high school, so it was secondary schools. And secondary schools include vocational institutions, technical institutions, and what we call secondary institutions now. So that is a provision that our framers of the Constitution put in there. So maybe this is the time, because at the end of the day, we've had successive governments. You understand me? And none is started.
Well, Mr. Kwasa, then the argument is about the time. The timing is what the proponents or even the critics seem to have a diffically about. We'll come back and have a lot more discussion on it.
Let me ask you. So we will better stay and come up and start at after 2016.
We'll discuss that when we take this very short break and come thereafter, because we'll be joined by Sethi Champong. Sethi Champong is a member of Parliament for Impraiso. He's also a member of the MPP, and he'll come back, and when he joins us, we'll also have some additional contribution to this very discussion we're having on the EM Talk. Do stay on, we'll be right back. Again, please get in interactive. We have the network page on Facebook, Join News on TV, and also the short code 7060 for you to get interactive. Do stay on, we'll be right back. Sethi Champong has joined us. He's a member of Parliament for Impraiso, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for inviting me as well.
And over the last couple of days,
right.
I've heard members of your party, the MPP, criticize the president for coming to make this very announcement. Did he take the wind out of your sails?
Not necessarily, because we had advocated this way back.
And so that has left you handicapped for 2016?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't think that was the only project we had in mind.
It was actually the thrust of your campaign the last time.
Education is a developmental issue, and we have to see it as such. And it behoves on whoever wants to lead this country. You come up with programs that will help promote education, that will help the people in this country really feel that development is coming to them. So for me, it is a running matter that needs to be conversed. We're always having conversations, and we need to have that conversation. Truthfully, if you would want to go reminiscing and trying to cast your mind back in the recent past, when this matter we were promoting and pushing it, our colleagues, the messages they came out with, surprises everybody, the kind of U-turn they've made just overnight. Because I christened it a U-turn in that the fundamentals haven't changed.
Meaning?
What I mean, the fundamentals haven't changed. The economy have not seen any significant improvement from the time.
And as a result of that, a policy like this can be implemented.
That is the difficulty to some of us, that so far we haven't made such significant growth as they profess. Then that we need to reach or get to a level where the numbers look pretty good before we could take up such a decision.
Going by your analogy, if your candidate at the time, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, had wanted to implement this just after the 2012 elections, which would have mean by the close of 2013, the policy would have seen some level of fruition, would it have mean that the economy had its fundamentals gaining or appreciating as a result of that? Then the policy could have been implemented.
Thank you very much. Then we gave the streams by which we were going to fund this system. We talked about using oil revenue, we talked about using GET fund, and we talked about ensuring that we put proper discipline in fiscal management. Now, I'm only hearing from the Deputy Minister that government is going to use GET fund. With what I know today in terms of the management of statutory funds, the arrears that we hold on the chest of government. I don't know as at today whether government has made some transfers, but as of the time we were doing the recent budget hearing in Parliament, which is just 2-3 months back, I mean, I don't see the magic wand government can do to use Get Fund. However, His Excellency the President told us yesterday that he was going to formally come before Ghanaians through the House, which is mandatory, with his budget statement in the year he's going to implement it. So we just have to shut up and wait and see how he's going to go about it. But the inconsistencies, that is what is worrying us, because the minister who supposedly is supposed to have sent a concept paper read out by His Excellency's rendition when he was delivering the State of the Nation address could not firm up. And then back in the day...
You mean the source?
Exactly.
Funding.
Based
but that was explained yesterday by the President, wasn't it?
That is what
he said saying. That when he only taxed his minister...
I just said the inconsistency. Government is one. Office of Government Machinery, headed by His Excellency the President. The President
is a body.
Is a body. The President read the State of the Nation address, and he says his sector ministry have offered us. He's going to use his sector ministry to. He's already taxed them. They have shown him the numbers. Everything is going to come through. So when this matter comes up, the Deputy Minister comes to tell us that this Get Fund. The Minister says that once you have decided, you find the money for it.
So as political elite or players, you're worried about that very
That is why I said the inconsistency, it ought to flow. That is my only worry. Reasons are that we are bound. This is my man.
Okay.
At the end of the day, our message must reflect our actions.
Okay, let me ask your man a question. The point is, there's a saying in local parlance, the agrobesu ifianopa. Okay? If you're going to have a very fruitful or playful day, you're going to see from the morning. If you're going to have a very exciting day, you're going to see from your demeanor from the very morning when you started your day. Now, going by it, I mean, nobody needs to read a PhD or have a PhD to know that the numbers don't add up in the economy. The fundamentals and the structures are not good enough. How is government intending to fund it? Going by the current state of fiscal reforms we're undertaking because of the difficulties we're facing, and that by 2015, 2016, this could be implemented.
You know, we still have roads being constructed, don't we?
Well, because we've approved a lot of loans, haven't we?
I'm coming. We still have roads being constructed. We still have projects being undertaken by the same government. You know, it's the way you prioritize your moves. You understand me? We just started the year. We're just about entering the first quarter, or we're about ending the first quarter. At the end of the day, we are saying we are going to do it. I always believe, like you said, like agrobesa ifianopa. Sometimes agroso sanapa, but you are doing so sometimes you know, late start doesn't make you a failure. Late start, sometimes when you are running a marathon, we have people who will just run giddy first. They will go 2 laps and they are tired. You see guys progressively moving, and they will take the lead.
Yeah,
we believe.
So your way of implementation is what also will be turned again in local parlance as the man-diesel way of moving. Because, you know, the diesel machinery doesn't kickstart very early. Compared to the petrol machine.
You can tell me it that way, but I believe this. You see, my brother was talking about quick turnaround. You know, that is why I want people to understand that this project, or whatever free SHS is, it's not somebody's brainchild. It's the brainchild of the framers of the Constitution. People who sat down, the carpenters, the keke sellers, who went to sit down and like formulate this Constitution. They are the ones who said, look, progressively, we should be having free secondary education, because one, if you read Article 25(1)(a), it talks about the F cube within 10 years of the Constitution coming to being, and we did that. I mean, President Kufuor made the announcement. You understand me? That we now implementing the F cube. From then, let's say, let's give ourselves another 10 years down the line and see how best we can, you know, build up our secondary schools and make sure they also progressively become free, because the Constitution made it clear. It said progressive. And it's not a matter of we making a U-turn, because if you read our manifesto, page 17 of our manifesto...
You stated that 2015, 2016?
No,
is that what you stated?
No. We said we are going to make senior high school free progressively. It is there, as stated by
so
the
your
Constitution.
timeline is 2015, 2016. That's
no,
progressive for you.
No, we didn't mention dates. All we needed to do is to make sure we roll out that program. And it's constitutional. So this is the time we feel we should roll it out.
Okay.
If you're going to read politics into things, if you're going to read politics into a project, then we might as well wait till 2016 that we start everything getting. But we are not thinking about the next election. We are thinking about the next generation. If we get it somewhere and you are off, somebody else comes, the person continues.
Mr. Champo.
In fact, listening to my friend when he talks about we politicizing this subject, in the last week, I can clearly see our colleagues trying to interpret the Constitution to us, instead of us focusing on our mandate as a government in administration. My reasons are that if it is said that the skinker sellers and the carpenters, which has been their mantra, I'm not so much worried about that, because I don't see any truth in it. At least, Honorable Yaosafo Mafo, who used to be a member of parliament and one time a minister of state in this country, who is a member of my political party, is an engineer who learned finance in a second degree. Is not a kinky seller. I've listened to many of the sayings of my colleagues that the NPP and its bar association is not for NPP. Our bar association is for organizers. It is not you. I'm in no reference to you.
No, you're talking about the constitutional assembly that's promulgated.
Yes,
that drafted the constitution.
Exactly. They have been saying, they said we shunned the consultative assembly. It is not him. A colleague deputy minister said it. The general secretary of the political party said it. That's why I'm summarizing it and putting it to them. Now, when you talk about our educational system, they refer us to the Constitution. Beautiful about it. They said President Kufuor announced it. He did not only announce it, he ensured that we brought fruition to that statement. He started capitation. Senior high school, President Kufuor started what we call the model schools. Odogono. Why did we do so? Because there was the scramble for everybody to get their child into the grade A schools. And this was becoming an albatross around the neck of the headmasters. That you go, everybody's knocking at their door. They were not having rest. So we needed to be a bit innovative in helping the system go forward. The placement from the BECE level to the WASI level is all part of this problem we met in the administration of our education. That is some of the things that I believe my friends will show. They need to demonstrate some leadership to us in that area. Not necessarily referring us to the Constitution, just quoted it that people did not attend upon the consultative assembly, that you have no proof of. It is just a propaganda message. I don't think we have to go that way. Let us discuss the subject before us. Let us see how best we get this thing running for us. That is how I want to see it. I've listened to, I'm not responding to AQ here, I'm responding to his group, some of the mischievous characters in there, and the kind of propaganda they want to spill over this country. It's not good.
Just relax on your words. But as far as we're concerned, you should be happy that if your mantra or the bane of your campaign the last period, before the last election, had been promoting free senior high school education, if government wants to implement it now, well, hula baloo. It means that you just pick on another policy and you use it to campaign for 2016. Why are you worried about it?
We are not worried for a second about it. We are waiting to see what they will be able to do. This is Ghana for us. This is our country. We're not running to anywhere. We're just reminding Ghanaians what our friends said in the recent past and what they are doing now. That is what we are talking about.
What they campaigned about prior to the 2012 elections, or within the same year, the 2012 period, do you think that...
They said they wanted to provide access and quality, the parameters. that they set for us.
There were no timelines then. Only that the variables were access quality.
Super.
And then later they'll do free.
Super. So I want to have a report that today...
You think we don't have access?
Exactly.
We don't have better quality?
Beautiful.
I'm asking you.
That is what I'm expecting.
Don't beautify my statement.
I'm not beautifying your statement, but you are coming with a very intelligent question that requires a smooth answer to you. What has changed in my earlier submission? I said, what has changed? The fundamentals. What has changed? Have we made enough access? Have we created it for them? The quality. Have we improved? Have we made 80% contact hours? Get fund projects in teacher training institutions have been abandoned because we've not been able to pay the contractors. We need to train quality teachers to come and add on to the quality we have today. It is linked. It doesn't stand alone.
So the variables are not...
I'm happy. Government in the 2013 budget statement at least provided for the schools they are going to build now. They could not meet the target in 2013. That is why I'm a bit skeptical when I hear some of these things. Even the funding for the buildings they are going to do now, I'm still watching. I want to see clear cut how they are going to do. Yes, the arrears are there. They were not utilized. At least they get fund around 35% of its statutory allocations that they were supposed to get. I don't know as of now, maybe some have gone. And that's why I'm quiet, because the 65 is still there and some could be used for these constructions because they'll still have to come back to Parliament. Other than that, the funding for even these constructions, I'm so concerned about. It was projected in this year's budget the government was going to use ABF, the annual budget funded amount, out of our oil sales, 103 million. Even that, it is assumed that until we do total collections, that is when we'll be able to raise funds to go to feed even the construction which is going on. That is why I, as a legislator, and as I sit in Parliament, and as I see the numbers, I worry. I'm not saying government is lying, but government actions do not add up to what it is saying.
Somebody say you're only being preemptive. Just relax, and then all will come into place.
Let all of us Ghanaians wait and see. The wait and see attitude is good for every person. I'm not preemptive, and I will never do that to government because I know that they mean well. However, their capacity to deliver is questionable.
Okay, now the chief of Nyanwa, that's where the school is, the one where the initial ceremony was undertaken. Bafo Kwame Akun was full of praise for the president, said, well, the president and his government have done well. The point is, once these are the communities that have been identified not to have senior high schools, well, it means they'll be provided with. What about the communities that seem to have very much incomplete infrastructure that would need a lot more rehabilitation and assistance? What happens to them at the same time whilst you're running this very policy?
Yeah, I think if you go to most of our senior high schools, you see projects being undertaken, especially when our brothers here made the school 4 years, you know, without adding any, without thinking about how to even house the 4th year. You know, we rushed in to put up... well,
that argument is mute now because you reversed it. So why do you have to bring back... Why do you have to... You reversed it because you thought in your own perspective...
No, I'm coming. That pushed the Mills government then to add more structures to the existing ones. You understand me? That is why if you look at this year, you know, the private secondary schools were complaining that like the public schools consumed almost all the students. You know why? You know why?
Passed the JHS?
Yeah, you know why?
Or from the JHS?
You know why? Because we don't have the fourth years anymore. So you have free classrooms and free dormitories. So if I used to, let's say, admit about 700 students, now I can admit ×2.
Because you have extra classes.
I have extra
not
classrooms.
×2, but
no,
let's say
what I'm saying,
more.
Look, the 4th year, it's a whole stream. The 4th year students was a whole stream. So if you were able to provide facilities for a whole stream of students, well, I mean, so it's just like ×2. The intake, I'm talking about the intake, it will definitely be ×2. Because we had a whole stream, we have a whole stream going off. The senior high school, the fourth-year students are about, let's say, 1,000. They're about 1,000. You were housing them. Now, if they finish the fourth year, the classrooms are empty. Because the third-year people are moving out with the first year, the fourth-year students. So you realize the two streams are gone. You know, so now the people you have there now is the SS2 people going to SS3. And you have all those classrooms. That is why a lot of people entered into school like the private school, public schools this year. But that notwithstanding, we still need to look at. We don't just forget about the old ones and just concentrate on new ones. Definitely,
because the old ones are supposed to be getting some level of assistance from the district assembly, the municipal and metropolitan agencies or assemblies. Then, more importantly, get fund. The point is that the get fund, as far as we know, these are public issues, and this is public knowledge, has been in arrears in terms of its allocations to various institutions that it had committed to. Now, if there's a turnaround and questions are being asked, and the source of funding, etc., has always got to be get fund and will not be coming, people will need to be worried.
I listened to I think a news item yesterday, and I heard they said funds have been sourced for the construction of this.
Who said?
I think one of the ministers. I was just driving, and
the funds have been sourced.
Sourced for the.
Somebody will say it's just one of the usual talk that.
Master, that's what I'm saying. That let's wait. You see, the end that justifies the means. We are here. We are talking. I mean, they just cut short yesterday. Let's wait and see if whether we can do it or not. It's the same way you sitting here when off the we're talking about the Cape Coast stadium, and you were saying that
that's off the record. No, it's not supposed to be on there. You're putting it on.
Oh no. I'm just saying we were just talking. You don't know. You were not there. You don't know how far the construction is gone. But we know what we said. You understand me? And I was telling you that look, the Western Wing. The sitting area for the Western Wing is done. They are now casting the concrete for the others. You see, it's something that let's wait, not like wait and see, and that kind of. I mean, look, our tenure of office ends in 2016. At the end of the day, we have to come back to the same people of Ghana to account for them. Our 4-year stewardship. If we account for them and they say that no, you've shortchanged the country, master, definitely they won't renew your mandate. If they see that, oh, you said it, you've done it, though you've not completed, but where you've gotten to is something that we should give you some more time to make sure you complete it. You understand me? I mean, it's left with Ghanaians to decide. You are a Ghanaian, fine, you can say whatever you want. He is a Ghanaian. Nobody stops him from analyzing things from his own perspective. You see, but at the end of the day, is the plurality of the people that will count. Look, if the time comes and GM is not able to provide those schools, he'll come to the people, explain why. If the explanation is well enough,
all you said, but I just want to inform you, the marking scheme is not marked at the end of the period. Where it's a continuous assessment.
No,
you are marked from year one.
Continuous assessment. Let me just drop this.
Are you now an educationist?
No. You brought in the continuous assessment, and I think yes, continuous assessment. Those times we were using continuous assessment from Form 1 to Form 3. They collect them and add it to your final exam. That is the thing. So let's continually assess. But at the end of the day, the marking thing itself, 30% of your marking scheme or 30% of whatever is coming from the continuous assessment. So at the end of the exams, that is what I mean, the examination day is what is going to tell whether your continuous assessment.
That'll give you your final outcome as to whether you can progress to the next stage of the educational ladder.
Yes.
Okay, so now, you believe that as a party, you want to adopt the wait-and-see attitude?
Not necessarily adopt the wait-and-see attitude. We are active participants in governance. In governance, I'm in Parliament on behalf of my party. We are participating in governance, and so we are not doing a wait-and-see attitude because we advocate. Some Ghanaians are doing wait-and-see attitude, and we have to speak for them. I am actively going to speak on the matter and ensure that the right things are done. If they mean well, like I said, I believe they mean well. However, their actions does not, and it do not speak of what they profess.
Okay.
So those are my words.
There's a statement that came from, I would want to quote it. It came from Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum of the progressive, and it's one of the few issues.
I heard it on one of your. I heard it on one of your.
Yes,
networks.
it's one of the few issues he seems to be agreeing with the government or president. He said it's better late than never, and that he feels that the action that the president has taken is very much commendable, and he says it's only fools who don't change their mind. He feels that being in a position to now feel that it is important to create a lot more access is critical, and will ensure that we have a lot more young people who should go to school who now will be in school. And it's a statement he brought out. He says that the state shall, and he was quoting the Constitution, etc. He says that it is important that, for example, we have senior high school. He says even whether it is free or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is whether they really believe in it and will work relentlessly to implement it. You should be happy then. At least there's cross-fraternization and acceptance and reception to this very policy. Perhaps maybe with the exception of your party.
I know Honorable Dr. Papa Kwesindum is a Ghanaian and he's living in Ghana. He is working seriously in the economy. And so when he speaks, he's speaking his mind, though that is his opinion. I don't see far away from what he's saying. Beautifully for us, our friends said they were going to create access, more access. They have started and they are creating the access. That is what we are watching to see how they will do it. And we, as partners in government, will ensure that the right things are done. That is what I said.
Okay.
My colleague a little while ago was talking of the 3-year and 4-year stream, and that comes to quality. I'm still waiting to see the 3-year stream they came and commenced in 2009 to see their results, and then I would then see the responsibility and the usefulness of their action, whether they did a good job for this country by that action, because he's trying to make us believe now that because they changed policy to let the children go to school for 3 years, they are creating space, and already they have space for more to get in, so they don't necessarily need to build more schools for them. No, that is something that I got. No. You said there is room.
No, what I was talking about.
Let me progress. AQ, I did not heckle you. Let me progress.
I'm not heckling you, but
let me progress. Let me progress. If I have misquoted you, you can requote yourself when I'm done.
Yes.
The reason why I'm not intervening because he's here, so I don't have to speak for him. But you let him, then you get a rebuttal, or you get an opportunity to correct him if his statement.
My take is, I'm waiting to see the results. I have been in meetings. I have sat in meetings. I've listened to the experts who believed in the 4-year system. The 4-year system spoke for itself. The results that came for the 4 years, so far, the evidence is clear, was far better than the 3 years that we started with. The evidence was very clear. Now, the rush to go to tertiary education, if your results were not of high standards, it is a problem, because it was clear, those who did 3 years, and the first result happened in last year. That's what I'm saying. I'm waiting to see the standalone. Now it is 3 years. Last year it was the 4-year and the 3-year who wrote the exams. The 4 years did far better than the 3-year students. The results are there, clear for everybody to see. I'm not going to advocate on that furthermore. Thank you.
Okay. Now, I've heard your party and your party members come to say that the president and his government and the party, the NDC, need to come and apologize to Ghanaians. Just give me some clarity on that. Those very statements that has been bandied around over the last couple of days.
First and foremost, members of this government went to the extent of telling our flag bearer then that he did not even understand what free SHS was. I mean, it is begging. It is begging language for somebody to assume that, yes, we may all be on campaign, you may have your way of telling your story, but not such demeaning commentary. It doesn't help. The Minister of Education then said we could only do 3 SHS in 20 years' time. Fortunately, yesterday, I saw the Minister of Education then Honorable Yokran. I saw him on the days yesterday when the president went to cut the sword. I saw him there. 20 years, and they've turned around in 2 years, and they are doing it. So were they lying to us when he said 20 years? That is not it. Their own words will come home to haunt them. It is not us. We were only saying such things to advert their minds, that they should advert their minds to the sayings in the recent past that they themselves have spewed out into the Ghanaian media and onto the Ghanaian public. That is why our people are calling for those things. They need to not apologize to NPP. NPP are Ghanaians. They need to apologize to Ghanaians for the words they have used in the recent past.
That's what I said. Your party kept saying. Okay, you wanted to do a clarification. I'll give you 2 minutes, and then we'll move on to the subject of...
Yeah, I believe, I mean, the audience were, I mean, your viewers heard what I said.
Okay, so refresh their minds there.
I was saying that if we look at the 4 and the 3 year thing, because both of them wrote exams at the same time, it created space for the intake of the new JHS student. I didn't say because of that we are not adding on anything. I said there are projects even going on in almost all the senior high schools. Okay. That's what I said. I didn't say because of that we are not doing any project. You understand me? That is what I said. And secondly, you see, we don't need to play politics with everything. We should go and apologize to Ghanaians. For what? Ghanaians need schools. We are building the schools for them. Is that apologetic? Should we go back and for what? Look, if you look at what we were saying during the election campaign, we were saying that, look, free education, who doesn't want free things? Free education is good. But at the end of the day, we don't have even the schools for the people to go. Let's look at access. Let's look at building on the quality. You understand me? Then we talk about progressively making it free. If somebody said 20 years, maybe by the 20 years time, maybe it will be, right now, the president, in the president's speech, he said what? He's going to take care of the community schools. When you build the community schools, you see, if you go to, you've been to the US, you've been to the UK, you know what the community schools does. If you want to take your son to Addis Ababa, you have to pay school fees because you want to take your son to Addis Ababa. Because it's an elite school. Elite school, and it's a boarding school. If you want to, even the UK, if you want to take your son to a boarding school, you pay. But if you want your children to go to the community schools, it's free. You understand me? Because of the extra things that comes with it. You understand me? But we, as a nation, we have to look at progressively making all those things free for our children. Fine. You see, sometimes we tend to forget that, look, even in the primary schools. Now, why is it that we parents, we like to send our children to the private schools, pay 1,500 Ghana? You send your children to private schools? No. My children go to government school. No, because you said we parents. No, I said, look, let me tell you one thing. If you look at the system, how many people, working class, middle, upper, take their children to public schools? All their children go to private schools, and they pay over 1,000 for a child. For basic education. For basic education. You understand me? We should be have faith in our public schools. You understand? Because some of us, we went to public schools. Those times we call it Saito. We went to Saito from class 1 to form 4. Our time was the form 14. It wasn't like class 6. Then you write. Okay, some people went to went to the preparatory school. So after class 6, he went to class 7, route for common entrance, and went to the secondary school. But some of us, we have to go through that. You know that standard 7 thing. You write hall. We call it hall. You are going to write hall. That's the middle school leaving certificate before you can go into the secondary schools. You know, the system have changed. It's the same way we are, because the only thing, I mean, that is constant is change. You understand me? So we have to be changing. Look, right now we are here. Next time, maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, people, maybe the private schools will even take over again when it comes to secondary education. You understand me? Because they will also invest more into secondary education. You never know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, those times when we were in school, those who went to Datus, those who were going to Bishop Bowers, then, I mean, we wear our khaki, we go to Khan Primary and Khan Middle School. But
so you feel that bringing quality and strengthening,
yes, it's the best.
Okay.
I mean, let's strengthen our education.
Okay.
Then
okay. There's a story. It says Mahama is confused. This place. It said Mahama is confused. Mahama is confused, according to the Searchlight, because on the front page of the Ghanaian Times it says there's been a reshuffle. All the regional ministers who were asked to not serve in their home regions, that is the regions where they came from, but go and serve in regions which perhaps they were not familiar with, but did not even speak the language of the people, etc. But just to go and do normal administrative work and work for the public good, they're now being sent back to their home regions. And the question that the critics have been raising is, well, the argument that was raised for this very initial policy or this very directive now is being reversed. And those are questions that we need to ask. Why this? So are you going back to the central region? You were a deputy minister sometime.
No, I'm not going back to central region. I was there as a deputy minister, and I'm now with fisheries. So the
president has not asked you to move yet.
To where?
No, I'm asking.
Not to central region.
Yes, I'm asking.
I wasn't in the central region. What this means, you see, in politics, just after election, you have regional blocks, everybody power play here and there. I mean, it's normal in every political party. And I believe what the president did then was strategic, just to go and calm things down. So let me take Seth here, instead of taking him into to Eastern region where he comes from. Why don't I send Seth to Tamale? You understand me? Then he has no, what we call, cronies. He will work and make sure he stabilizes everything. After stabilization, yes, now we've seen, I mean, some of us who have been going through the regions, we've seen the kind of stability, but just after election, there were so many factions. This was here, this guy was here, and definitely the minister, being a politician too in the region, had definitely some kind of faction that he belongs to. So look, for us to calm down issues, let me just play this game for a year. Let's see how it goes. And I believe now things are calm. So, okay, go back. You understand me? And continue whatever the person came there to do.
So you're saying it's just for the politics of it?
You see, not only for the politics of it. You see, once you are a regional minister, I mean, you have the same competence as the other regional minister. You understand me? So it doesn't make any change.
The only competitive advantage is that you come from the region, you speak their language.
You speak their language. But you see, me, I believe in what they did. I hope and wish it should have continued till because it brings some kind of, it helps us to really learn new things. You understand me? Because I sit here, I speak Inzima, I speak Ahanta, I speak Fanti, I speak Ewe, I speak Ga. You understand?
No, it's in your face. You want people to know you. No, when they see your face, they'll know that you can speak many languages.
Yeah, I understand the little Dagbani. At the end of the day, why? It's because of the places I've been to, because of the places I've worked.
And the interactions you've had with people.
Yes, so it gives me that kind of ability to operate in every corner that you send me.
I hope you're not lobbying. Please.
No, no.
I want my someone to mute this very well.
No. I am not lobbying.
No.
What I'm saying is, you see, because I worked in Tamale, I stayed in Tamale for 2.5 years.
So you speak a bit of Dagbani?
I understand Dagbani. If you speak Dagbani with me, I understand it. I might not be fluent in Dagbani, but I hear you speak. I know what you are talking about. I did my national service in Nzima land. I speak, if somebody is speaking Nzima, I'll pick it up. But I stayed in a place, Cape 3 Point, where the popular Cape 3 Point. That's where I did my national service. And we cut between the hunters and the Nzimas. But meanwhile, the Cape 3 Point itself, they speak a language we call Evalue. At the end of the day, you see, so if they, like right now, if you speak to Lion, or Nilaya for Tiago,
you pick up some.
One or two away is coming to him. You know what I mean? Because he knows he has to learn. Because one or two phrases you have to drop it even in your speeches and that kind of thing. At the end of the day, it gives us the ability to learn other cultures. You understand me? Not like our own. That is what I believe. Like, but hey, President knows better than I. He knows why he did that, and he knows why he's moving the people back to their base. I thought maybe they should have gone on at least for a while, for them to fully integrate into the region. But he knows better, you know, because what he's seeing sitting down, when I climb the Iruku tree, I will not see.
Well, okay, Mr. Champ, I remember President Kufuor also did something like this for a while. I remember within his, what we are told usually is it kind of makes sure that the various individuals who have been appointed give their all to the region, because one, they need to impress the people and also impress whoever appointed them, the appointee. What do you make of this very move? You think it smacks of somebody who, or perhaps some level of insecurity or also indecision?
You talked about President Kufuor. I think it is tried knowledge that leaders reshuffle.
And it's been done before in the 70s.
No, I'm saying it is tried knowledge that leaders do reshuffle. I think President Rawlings did it during his tenure. It wasn't so much a mark of President Kufuor. I think most of the ministers President Kufuor used were coming from the regions, except when we had some trouble spots in the northern region, and then we took a person closer from Bronga Hafu to become a regional minister in the northern region. Most of the regional ministers were coming from the neighborhood. Going forward, it is the president who, through Article 58, holds the executive mandate to administer the state. This is what he believes in, and this is what he thinks he wants to do. He appointed them, and he still has his men around him. He nominated them earlier based on where they were coming from, their regions, and then right after going through approvals through the legislature, he turned around and said he was reshuffling them, and he put them. That's why people christened it as a musical chairs. And for me, it is for us as Ghanaians to experience the better Ghana they so profess. And so some of these things are not so much of a worry to me. We just want to feel it, the better Ghana they talk about. We are not feeling it. And as a result of that, we ensure that we have these things being done properly for us. Truthfully, I don't have so much worry. I want to feel it in my pocket, not necessarily just the musical chair.
Because I wanted to ask you, when you say your pocket, when you people talk about Ghanaians don't have something in your pocket, that phrase, what does it mean?
Let me say this. When government, as the end of the fourth quarter, was owing in arrears in excess of 1.5 billion, these are statutory funds that are supposed to go to DACF, that is supposed to go to GET Fund, that is supposed to go to NHIA. Road fund arrears have not been talked about. Normal agencies arrears have not been talked about. It is a worry, because the work needs to be performed, and what will allow these agencies serve, they are not getting it. We are standstill. That is what we mean by that, because when they work, then whoever is with them is also going to make some earnings, and whoever that person owes will also receive theirs. So some people owe me, they have not paid me. So it goes to tell me that truthfully the government is not paying them, so they cannot also pay me. And yes, I have evidence, because that is what the government told us. Whatever I'm saying, I'm not just speaking on top of my head. We just had the budget hearings. When you do the budget hearings, matters which are not clear, printed in the budget statement, you elicit such information from the agencies and departments. And that is how I got to know that under statutory payment, government only did 35% to GET Fund in the 2013 financial year. Reasons known, because it had not been transferred to them. They are statutory. That is why I worry when government is coming again this year in the first quarter to tell me stories like this. I'm worried. I am worried, highly, very, very worried. It doesn't gel. It doesn't gel at all, and it's
relax.
But in your very, very comfortable seat that you have provided for me, am I running in it? I'm comfortably seated.
Also, don't worry. As a person, I never be to you.
Mala ononyum de mala minyiho. Minyiho ko. Mukawanyi de nasmola kan. Unzidumam.
Okay.
More can nini na nasmola kan. It doesn't add up. Obwe bra unsenyim. I don't to say him no mamuch mugutom.
Okay, Western region must get share of oil money, and that's story on page on the front page of the paper, the Searchlight. And basically, we have a charity or a think tank, so to speak. I don't think it's more of a charity; it's more a pressure group. The Public Action Against Corruption and Abuse has accused the Mahama administration and the NDC government of discriminating against the Western region in the sharing of the proceeds of the oil resource. Well, it's good that we have the parliamentarians here, because really, the resource, whatever, nothing is shared like that. I guess so far the revenues have been in excess of some 1.1 billion Ghana cedis, etc. And according to the group, the government has totally neglected the Western region in then allocation of the proceeds coming out of the region, even though the region is responsible for the production of the oil. I'm sure that would have meant that Obuasi would have been made of gold streets. How does all this work out when we have a pressure group that comes out and they make all these claims?
Master, me, I don't know, but me, those times I told somebody that any story that is coming from Searchlight, I'm not going to talk about it. Because
well, we're here to do.
No, I know.
We're here to do dispassionate discussions. Because the whole point is currently we do have chiefs and communities within the Western region who feel that perhaps they are not giving their due. And we've had promises that were made by the president, not only when he was vice president, but when he was also the vice president, he was also the presidential candidate of your party, on the campaign trail, not only in the Western region, but across the country, that some level of attention will be paid to the Western region.
No, Master, you see, I don't, have you visited Western region recently?
I've visited some of the areas more recently.
Where?
A couple of the places.
No, where have you?
What's your difficulty?
No, my difficulty is, you see, if you say they contribute to the, what they contribute to what?
I'm not the one saying that.
No, that's what I'm saying. That makes into quote nonsense of whatever.
No, it doesn't make it nonsense.
No, because at the end of the day,
you're a member of parliament, and you're part.
We know how.
And you're part of the country's government structure.
So
I guess what you're speaking, you speak in a way that will appeal also to the conscience of the people of the Western region.
And understand you, Western region, they are. Look, I was raised in the Western region. Western region is like the bread and whatever basket, the food basket of this country. What I am saying is, if this group calling themselves PACA or Power or whatever.
Public Action Against Corruption and Abuse.
You see?
From what you are saying, you don't seem to give some credibility to this group.
No, I don't know.
No, but what you are saying has substance.
No, what they are saying doesn't have a substance, because at the end of the day, the money is for Ghanaians. The money is not, and that is why we came up with the petroleum revenue
management.
It's there. How to disburse the money is there. They didn't say that this region is getting.
Because the government can't just go and take the money and start spending it here, etc. Everything. So we have the stabilization. We have.
At the end of the day, you can't just say take the money and say that you are sending it to Western region, Central region. I believe Western region need good roads. They need a lot of infrastructure. They need it. You understand me? We have, as a government, whether we have oil or not, we need to develop the Western region. You understand me? Because if any time, like from Bodier Junction to Asenkrigwa, that place,
terrible.
It was. I mean, when I was working there, I was trekking all the way through that road. It was so bad that any time I come back to Takrady, I have to go to the workshop. You understand? But at least now they are doing the road. That is the thing. We should make sure infrastructure is done. I mean, their water system, you know, and we are begging also the Galamsey people to stop Galamsey so that the water bodies can easily.
That's why you have the tax force available to make sure that all these.
You know, so there is equitable distribution.
Mr. Champong, the Western region, you think that all these pressure groups that come up and sometimes they make some of these really are representative of what the sentiments are on the ground in the region?
We're speaking with civil society, they're speaking as non-governmental organizations. They may have their facts with them. However,
This one you beg to differ.
No. When I say however, government is saying that they do not believe what they are saying. I am worried, not necessarily because of what they are saying, they are not getting their share of the oil. Production is going down. The numbers that we're getting, the 120,000 barrels, we're going down, way down now. And it is a sign, it is of worry to me. I would want government to quickly put its act together and get the gas construction up, make sure that they are behind schedule and get it completed on time for us, so that we can really do what we have to do well, and make sure that the country gets the benefits out of the resource that we have. I'm sure when we do things right in that area, some of these challenges will be curbed. They are right in demanding for their pound of flesh. At least the son of the land is the energy minister, and they expect that something good out of it comes. And it will not be only read in the budget that they used monies that came out of oil proceeds for capacity building. When the Public Interest Accountability Committee goes to find out, they are yet to have the fine details. So we use greater chunk of GMPC money, which is meant for the people, for growth and for development, for capacity building, and we cannot give proper details as to how the expenditures were affected. It is a sign of worry. So people who can come up with some of these renditions, and that's why we keep on hitting government at the back, that please make sure you do the right thing so that people don't come talking. If government does the right, I don't think what Searchlight published will be published for AQ to say he wouldn't want to read Searchlight.
Well, AQ, your friend AQ says that he doesn't believe them. Well, we have to take news on the hour. When we come back, we'll do a lot more discussions on the subject before we take a wrap on EM Talk. And, well, let's give you the details now. So we continue our discussions, and Sethi Champon, Member of Parliament for Impriaso in the Eastern Region, is also again still here with us, and of course Aquinas Kwanzaa. He's the Deputy Minister of Fisheries, Member of Parliament for Infantsman. Okay, now let's look at the issue of the missing babies, and according to the news we're getting into the studios, and 2 of the babies have been found. We don't know how, but that's what we're being told. What do you make of the current saga so far, and the doctor's position that they will only be treating patients per the ratio that has been approved by the World Health Organization, and that is 3 patients per day?
I don't know. I mean, if why they're doing that because of what? Well,
they feel that following all these incidents, there's been some level of blatant attack on personnel at the hospital. So some level of solidarity, I guess, yeah.
So if they see only 3 patients, then the babies will come back, or what? You see, we have to be realistic. You know, it's not proper to be giving that kind of ultimatums that you are going to see only 3 patients or whatever. You have a problem in your hospital. A baby that was born, whether still or not still birth, you just have to let the mother see the baby. I mean, look, you can't just go and bury or burn my baby without my consent. You understand me? So where is the baby? That is all the authorities are asking from the hospital. And if you take that as indictment on your profession, then I beg to differ. You understand me? The woman went through 9 months of what we call pressure labor. You understand me? Because you know, you don't know what, maybe this woman has been looking for a child for a very long time. He's gotten one. Even if the child is dead, let the parent or the mother know that this is your baby. The baby is dead. You understand me? And at the end of the day, she will be okay. And they would like to go and bury their thing if the thing is dead. If the baby is dead, she had the right to go and bury. I mean, so what's the deal? So
you feel that the mode of operation or the way they undertook their daily activities at the hospital itself had a related problem?
Master, somebody goofed somewhere. I mean, it's clear. Somebody.
And you feel somebody has to pay for it?
Somebody goofed somewhere. So you know, this all hula baloo things, I believe the woman should just sue the hospital. Period. You sue the hospital And you know, I mean, I don't know, but I believe that shouldn't come with this like government GMA lock horns. They've not locked horns.
Because we've had the Minister of Health
giving them 14 days.
Yes, and that very ultimatum. And the day of the announcement also followed the suspension of, we have been told, some officials of the hospital. That has compelled the Ghana Medical Association and its president, Dr. Kwabno Puku Edu, said, describing the health minister's directive as unnecessary, unfortunate, and of no consequence. And he's been quoted as saying, we live in a democratic dispensation with rules and regulations, and expected the minister to have discussed the ministry's findings with the hospital's management before disclosing it to the media. But just talking about the action and the directives that follow through.
I think it's still a running story, and besides that, so far what we have, it goes to show all of us how some of our institutions are weak. We've been talking about strengthening institutions, and for me, we must learn administratively. Some of these things must help us reform the way corporate governance is looked at, not necessarily in the private eye, but also in the public eye properly, because many a time people have been chastising private sector participants that they don't have proper corporate governance. But this goes to tell us that we still have issues when it comes to public administration, and we have to be up and doing. Every person must know that you ought to be accountable for your stewardship. As I sit here as a member of parliament, when public issue comes up, we are the first people that are used as the guinea pigs. Any matter of concern, MPs will be used. I'm not worried about that.
You mean they'll be criticized?
Yes, of course. But then beyond that, I think it must dovetail into all our public institutions, all our state enterprises. Every person, wherever you are in your serving, you must see yourself that you are working for a bigger company, Ghana. And you must do your work properly as Ghana deserves and as Ghana requires of you, because at the end of the day, you work straight to take your paycheck from Ghana. So let us be very careful. I am happy it is going this way, because people are beginning, we say this is a country that is governed by rule of law. People just use the mantra. But when the law goes to the other side with them, they get angry. We should not be angry. We should allow the law to thrive, and it must help us develop as Ghanaians. That is all I will say about this.
And is it possible that perhaps we've had medical facilities in the country over the years that had not been having their procedures right, and as a consequence of that, we've had some babies that have gone missing and no complaints from the mothers, etc.?
No, you see, I think this particular thing is happening all over other hospitals, you know, but we should just be vigilant, you know. If you give birth and they tell you your baby is dead, who are you to challenge? But at least let me see my baby. I mean, hey, it doesn't change anything. I mean, like said, we just need to strengthen those institutions. I mean, they have to. I mean, look, I think they do it here. The moment you give birth, straight up, they just tag the baby's hand with your name and whatever.
They do it here?
Yeah, they do it. So at the end of it, if my baby is dead, at least I should see my baby with my name, because I've not given him or her name yet. So my name is what they call the baby with. You understand me? So I believe it's about time we strengthen our institutions, and it's serious. I mean, whatever is happening, but the whole thing that started is by paper publishing that they stole the baby. That was what brought this whole thing. This baby was stolen. You understand me? And that they are pushing to make their case that somebody stole the baby in the hospital, because according to the woman, the child was crying. I mean, they sent the child to go and clean up, and later on, was told that the baby is dead. You know, but at the end of the day, they know best. And if the baby is really dead, they should at least produce the corpse so that the people can go and bury their baby.
Yeah, I think to follow up on what my colleague have just said, it is true that the mother, every mother cares for them. We were all brought up by our mothers. Every mother cares for their child. So for a mother to go through labor and wouldn't see the child, even if the child is dead, it is a sign of worry. Psychologically, it's going to have effect on the person. In as much as I am also, it is not all the medical personnel in the hospital that may have gone against the norm. And so I expect that in these times, we all come together and ensure that the good name that the profession holds, it's upheld high. There may be a couple of one out of the way odd events, but whoever is a culprit to the current menace, at least they need to own up and and let us get rid of such characters out of our society. We need to do that because certainly I am not for the mob action that went to attack the facility.
That was
and
wrong.
then the staff.
And the staff.
Okay,
that
precisely that we have Dr. Ernest Kwaku is an obstetric gynecologist, and a very good morning to you at the Komfo Anochi Teaching Hospital. A very good morning to you, Dr. Kwaku.
Yes, good morning, Roland.
Yes.
My name is Dr. Kwaku.
Kwaku.
Yes.
Okay, sorry for mispronouncing your name. You work with the Komfo Anochi Teaching Hospital, I believe.
Yes, sir. Quick reactions.
No, I know you want to react, but let me ask some
Yeah.
questions before you react. Are you on strike? I mean, the medical practitioners there, are you on strike at all?
Roland, no, not at all. We are not on strike. We are working fully, and indeed, we are working like we used to do before, and nothing has changed. Indeed, let me take the opportunity to say that it is not true what is making rounds in the media that we have resolved to take care of only 3 patients. I mean, that's it's unrealistic, and it's nothing near what we do. Perhaps what...
Perhaps not you, but some of your colleagues have resolved, and I'm sure that might have filtered into the media circles.
Yeah, so we want an opportunity to correct that. When there's mischief is, in quote, created by media, you cure it by media. I don't think that we need to shy away from the media. And I think that we must correct the misimpression. Perhaps what the practitioner, whoever not you, but multimedia journalists spoke to, meant that in taking care of women in labor, if you want maximum efficiency and quality, then each provider within a period assigned to him or her will be maximally effective if you take care of 3 at a time. Because remember that when you are monitoring a woman in labor, you are monitoring 2 persons, an unborn baby, which we consider a human being dear to our heart, and then the mother. We want, one of the joys that maybe the public doesn't know that we have is that when you take care of a woman for 9 months and she delivers a healthy baby, look, that joy that we get, money cannot replace that. So monitoring the 2 individuals is so critical. And that maybe what the practitioner meant, and which was miscarried, was that in taking care of those people, to get maximal efficiency, maybe you do 3 at a time. Truth is, we do more than that. It's only a miracle, and by God's grace, that we are able to get the results that we get. That is what was meant to be put out.
But we do understand that. But as a medical professional yourself, and having practiced all these years, do you think that it is normal procedure for a baby to be born stillbirth? We do understand that, but the mother not informed, and the baby carried away to be, I don't know whether disposed of or buried. I don't know how you want to term it.
Thank you for this question.
Doesn't it seem a bit unusual?
Yeah, thank you for this question. It's not the case at all. Our usual standard practice, and which we always do, and I'll defend it to the hilt, is that when a baby is born, if it's alive, we declare it. If it's dead, we declare it. And indeed, because this matter is under investigation, we've tried to be we are playing our cards well and not going ahead of the investigations. But some things are making rounds. So in this particular case, I can assure you that the woman was duly told that her baby was indeed dead. Perhaps if I don't risk saying this ahead of the investigations, perhaps what may not have been adequate, the pressure on us, we cannot come and then be spending about 30 minutes to 1 hour on you, trying to counsel and explain to you why that your baby is there. We are trying to comfort you. Maybe we'll do it for about 10 to 15 minutes. But hey, get on with it so that we can see other people. We want to help them so that they will have live babies. Perhaps that one, you can say that because of the pressures of our work and the imbalance in the practitioner to citizen ratio, maybe we don't have that time that we should have to be pampering people, if you like.
Well, we do understand.
But we do our best.
While you do your best, many people will say that's more like an excuse than anything else. But you know, the Ministry of Health had given a directive, and we've had some counter. I don't know whether rejoinders or also some pronouncement from the Medical Association and also from within your fraternity at the Comfort Anochi Teaching Hospital, that the directive that had been given and the likely suspension of your colleagues, etc., was not in good taste.
Yes, first and foremost, Roland, it's not an excuse. What I said is not an excuse. It's a reality that happens every day.
Okay, so answer my question then. Thank you.
So the ministry, we understand yesterday in the evening, after normal office hours, has formally communicated with the hospital. So whatever directive that was given was received just like all of you in the media. Now the formal communication has been received. This morning we will take a look at it and respond appropriately. But just to say that the warning or that the ministry is supposed to have given is in respect of the looking after only 3 patients, and that one we have put on record. It is not true. It's a miscarriage of information, and that needs to be put on record.
So in all this, you are not covering any of your colleagues at all.
No, I like what the panelist the submission he was making just before you called me. Maybe the public should know, even though it's an investigation. We ourselves as management, we did an investigation with the relatives of the lost dead body. We did investigation with them. If they will be truthful, they were in the meeting where we took the orderly, who was not in the first place supposed to take those dead bodies. We questioned. He had inconsistent stories. Then we realized we had a big problem on our hands, and we took him, literally took him, his hands with the relatives. We took him to the police station because we deemed it a very serious matter, and we almost criminal if I'm not being prejudicial. And we have been supportive. We have been collaborative in all the investigations to try and get to the bottom of the matter. We will not shield anybody. We will not.
Dr. Kwa, according to the reports we're getting again, 2 of the of the 5 babies for which the Ministry of Health had said you should find within the specified period had been found, found alive or perhaps dead?
Perhaps the question is, are those babies found at all? Not at all. No, there's no such thing as 2 babies have been found. I think we stand by our original position that the number of missing dead bodies is 3, and it remains like that. Wherever this so-called rumor started, I don't know. Okay. But from our official position, it is 3 dead babies that are missing that we are looking for, and we continue to look for those dead bodies. So
the dead bodies, where are they? Since they haven't been recorded that they've been perhaps disposed of or buried, etc. So where are they?
From our end, we will continue to open our doors for further investigation. But we believe that the onus now lies on the police and the investigative apparatus. We have given the intermediary person up who has admitted taking the 3 bodies when he was not supposed to. It was a duty of the mortuary attendant. He has taken them. We are not shielding him. We are giving our cooperation to the investigative bodies to try and get to the bottom of the matter. And we shall do that.
Well, we do understand that. But I ask you a question, Dr. Kwaku. Basically, well, the babies were delivered in your hospital. At the end of the day, where are they? That's the question. If they are dead, where are they?
Yes, you see, risking being prejudicial.
Okay.
I understand that there's what they call the vicarious liability. The buck stops with the hospital and the department.
Okay.
We are not shying away from that at all.
All right.
But
Thank you very much.
In so doing, the person involved must also give account of his stewardship, which is something that the public needs to note. Because we are not shielding anybody. We are also interested in getting to the bottom of the matter. It is giving us a bad name, and we are not happy about it.
Well, thank you very much. And so we're happy now. At least the news is not that you're only going to care for 3 patients in a day. All right. So how many patients are you caring for now in a day?
On the average, when I consult in a day, on the average, I see more than 45.
Oh, I think you should increase it to about 60. That will help so that we clear the cases.
In my younger days, I used to see about 80, 88.
Well, that's Dr. Ernest Kwakun. He's a gynecologist with the Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital. It is the setting for that very drama that is ongoing about missing babies. And according to the Ministry of Health, they are supposed to find 5. They are supposed to find 5 babies. Now they are saying, according to their own records they have, it's only 3, the number 3 that they know have been dead. And those bodies they are finding, they can't find them from the maternity ward, the theater maternity ward to the mortuary. They don't know where the dead bodies are. Very interesting drama. Your last comments before we take a wrap on the subject.
I think it's good we've heard from Dr. Kwakun. It is giving us other side of the story as to what we've been reading in the media. And like I said, it's a running matter. We will all be patiently observing because it is to help and inform us how we manage our public institutions and how we take our work ethics as stewards of the state properly, because it is everybody's responsibility to protect Mother Ghana, to ensure that we get the good for this country. I don't think it is nice every day we're at each other's throats talking across each other on subjects that necessarily do not bring any food on our plates. This is something that I think we have to be careful with. And it tells everybody that irrespective if you may be the head of the institution, at the same time when something happens underneath and you don't go check it, the back stops.
So supervision is critical.
Crucial. Ultimate responsibility. People will say today, listening to Dr. Kwakun, he may be far away from the problem though, but he is the one speaking for the problem.
Yeah, because he's not concerned.
Exactly.
He's talking about reputation.
Exactly.
Your last comment, take you.
I believe at least it's refreshing listening to Dr. Kwakun. Yeah, and all we need is the truth and nothing but the truth. So let the people, I mean, I know there is an investigation going on. Let's finish the investigation and we see what, but I believe they should put their act right. I mean, the administration should make sure they streamline some things, proper records of everything should be taken, so that at least this would have been an easy thing. Oh, these are the babies, they are dead. Truly, go and see, that is Suiba's baby. That's the baby lying down there. I mean, simple, it would have stopped all this. But you see, because we are not even, you know, we know about this baby stealing thing happening around. So straight up, even if your baby is dead, you also will jump in and say, they say, man. But we have to know the truth. Sueba needs a baby, dead or alive. Period.
Then matter solved.
All
right.
But it is not only Sueba's child.
I know.
It's not only Sueba's child. If what we are hearing from the report is true, because it wasn't only Sueba who gave birth at the time, but it was Sueba who triggered the matter. And so Sueba has now become the focal point when it comes to getting. But
and then they were told that there were 5 babies that died.
Yes,
now what we told he says 3 babies. Okay, so
no, maybe that goes to corroborate the 2 you said that have been found. You know, maybe officially it's not been reported. That's what I'm saying. You see, that's what I said. This is
all this
a recurrent matter, something which is running. So let us wait and see how it turns out to be.
And Mr. Champon, Sete Champon is a member of parliament
for over 10 years.
Sete Champon is a member of parliament for Impraiso. and also a member of the MPP, also a member of the NDC, Aquinas Kwansa, member of Parliament for Infantiman, but also Deputy Minister for Fisheries. Previous fuel now resolved?
Everything is under grasp.
Okay.
Now that there's automatic
Okay, so that'll be it for AM Talk, and we also have to thank Dr. Ernest Kwakun of the Comfort Anoti Teaching Hospital for calling through. Thanks for your contribution this morning on AM Talk. Now let's do some show business. And Sarkodie has again topped the list of nominees for the VGMAs with 8 nominations. And also, you know that the Oscars were held over the weekend, and the best picture, of course, went to 12 Years a Slave. We'll bring you all those updates subsequently tomorrow. Stay glued to this very show, AM Show. Next, we're going for a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more for you on the AM Show.